So I know my channel has become a Ripperverse channel, but you know what? I don't mind. I don't mind. I don't mind at all. I discuss other things, but this happens to be something I'm genuinely excited about. I am not paid by the Ripperverse. I am not paid to discuss the things I discuss concerning the Ripperverse. I am genuinely excited about this company. It genuinely brings me joy to see enjoyable characters and stories and a world being built. It's fresh, it's new. It doesn't have some of the inherent problems of some of these other companies. I understand why companies go public. I understand the revenue that brings and the different opportunities that it allows, but there's also constraints that come with that. Now, I am not a businessman. I do not own a business. I am not speaking from authority. So I know there's bound to be someone in the comments, someone that is in business, someone that does not like the Ripperverse, that thinks, "Hey, you're wrong. Here's what they're doing wrong." I'm not saying I understand everything, okay? So I'm just going to let that be known right out the gate, but let me say this. As an onlooker, if you give me this company, you give me the Ripperverse with all the controversy, with all the hatred and things that it brings, I'm going to be happy. And the reason I'm going to be happy is because I know what I see. My eyes work. This company is generating money month after month after month after month. They're raking in money. They had a campaign or a collection that they're calling it now. Uh, Last month, let me see. Let me go see the numbers from that other collection, which was Gooding, and see how much that made. Now remember, this was over the span of a month, right? A little bit over a month. $300,000, pretty much $291,293 $300,000. Now, this Ripazine has been up for what, a week or so, maybe a little more. Ripazine number two, they've made $107,000 off of, I think most of these are like what, $7? Yeah, $7, $20. There's a package you can buy with some signed copies, CGC copies, $123. And there's another one you can get for $140. But really, the barrier of entry is $7, and they've already made $107,000. That's crazy. And here's something that I don't think many people consider. This is this is just the money that is reported to us just off the campaigns and collections. There's things being bought even outside of that. You know how I know this? I have bought things from the Ripperverse outside of the campaign. Those numbers aren't in there. Like, I see videos and I see posts on X and Instagram. Now, obviously, I follow people who happen to share ideologies and they happen to like the Ripperverse, but people are buying these items. There's people out and about wearing shirts. There's people introducing other people to the comic book and to the content, and people like it. I don't know how much this company is bringing in, day out, like month to month. But I think people are under the impression that the only money that comes in is money that they get during their campaigns and collections. And I'm like, now they're probably bringing in a lot more money than we see. Hence, what allows the fostering of these new books and new ventures. And this is exciting. I'm glad that this company has came about. I think, and I've said this before, competition is good. It makes everyone step their game up. There, any company that is in the public eye on a large scale is gonna get hatred. That's guaranteed. What I've noticed, and I have a different approach and a different mentality. I'm not really combative. That's just not my stick. It's not my thing. I'm willing to talk to people who disagree. I'm willing to have that disagreement and move past that and have a conversation. We don't have to argue. I may not agree with you, respect your opinion, and we can move on from there. But I would imagine if if my channel right now grew to, let's say, 100,000 subscribers, which would be dope. Look, that would be dope. I don't know if I'm not necessarily one of these people that's like, yo, I'm gonna get to this number by this time. I don't know. I try to put out quality content. I don't put out a lot of content. I don't want to saturate you just talking about things just for the sake of talking. Some channels do that. I don't want to do that. I talk when I genuinely have something I want to say that I'm excited about. This happens to be one of those things. But if my channel grew to 100,000 subscribers overnight, look, people gonna hate. It doesn't matter how even I am and how I deal with people. It doesn't matter how fair I am and the conversations I have. It doesn't matter if I say, look, we agree to disagree. I like this, you don't. There's going to be haters. That's going to happen. I've noticed that sometimes people try to lead me into an argument. I'm just not, that's not my thing. I'm not going to argue with you. That doesn't mean that I'm going to just agree with you for the sake of agreeing. I'm going to state, look, this is what I think about this. I disagree with you, and here's why. I'm not going to diminish or demonize you because I don't agree with you. I might think you're dead wrong. Not going to diminish you. It just is what it is. Like I said, it's not my stick. I follow people who that is their stick, and I enjoy their channels. It's just not my thing. I think on YouTube, you have a lot of copycat channels, people trying to be something they're not. If I got on this camera and I was loud, boisterous, and vulgar, you would know right out the gate, this doesn't fit you, man. It's just not your thing. And that's not what I want to portray. Anyway, I digress. Rippaverse is making some money. This competition is good. Look, you may not think Marvel or DC pays things like this any mind at all, but I beg to differ. I think they're watching things like this and they know, yo, okay, fans are moving on to other things. And if we don't step our game up, we are bound to fall to the wayside. And I'm going to tell you, I think what is happening with Deadpool and Wolverine is, in my humble opinion, proof that these companies are learning. Now, maybe going into Deadpool and Wolverine, Marvel didn't know what to expect. Maybe they didn't think it was going to get the notoriety that it has gotten. Needless to say, this movie is big. Big box office mojo. Deadpool and Wolverine, in the 2 weeks that it's been out, $879 million worldwide, 421,000 domestically, 421 million domestically, 458 million internationally. I don't know when or if this movie will reach $1 billion, but I would not be surprised if it did. And this has to be one of the biggest successes for Marvel in 4 or 5 years. Like, I don't think they've had anything with a showing like this, which is, in my humble opinion, further proof that, yo, the fans have spoken. This is what the fans want. You got to give the fans what they want. You can only push certain agendas for so long. Now, I hope this trickles down into Marvel comic books and we see, some differences, which I think you're beginning to see hints of that when you look at books like Ultimate Spider-Man, Ultimate Black Panther. These are books, in my humble opinion, you may disagree, but I believe these are books that are offering fans things they want, and the fans are repaying Marvel in kind. When I go into my comic book store and I see Ultimate Spider-Man or Ultimate Black Panther, without question, I grab those books. I don't think about it. I don't flip through the book. I grab it because thus far, Marvel has rewarded me. I pick up this book and I'm like, yo, okay, this is good. Not the most groundbreaking story I've ever heard, but this is good and I enjoy what you have now given me. And look, money talks. Money talks. These companies can try to do whatever they want, tell us whatever they want. The money talks. People will buy things they enjoy and they will avoid things they do not like. And I believe, go back to I think 2 videos ago where I said this. I said, I believe somebody at Marvel has gotten a point, and there has been reports that Marvel has fired many of the people that have infused things into their content that we just don't enjoy, things that just don't matter. There's been reports that these people have been fired across the board. Look, this is not a coincidence. There is a shakeup in the entertainment industry in a good way. I think there is a return to form. I am not a doom and gloom guy. That's not my thing. I don't think it's all bad. I don't think it's all going to be destroyed. Is that possible? I'm also not naive. I live on Earth. I realize that it's always a possibility that this whole thing collapses. That's a possibility. But I'm not going to make that my default go to. Like, it's all bad. It's all collapsing. It's all, garbage and everything's going to be destroyed. No, I think there's signs that there is a turnaround. There is somebody somewhere, at least in Marvel, has realized, okay, we can no longer do this. We can no longer give something to our fans they didn't ask for and they don't want and expect that we're going to get money. We cannot cater to an audience that really and truly is not the audience that actually buys our stuff. I was reading or, going through a little bit of this article from on Bounding Into Comics Deadpool and Wolverine review. The MCU feels relevant again, and it really does. There's so much in this movie. I'm sure by this point, if you have not seen the movie, you've heard all of the spoilers. So there will be some things in here that spoilers. When Blade shows up, Wesley Snipes' Blade shows up in this movie, I almost lost my mind. I enjoyed seeing Blade. I enjoyed seeing his character return. I enjoyed seeing the fight scenes. I thought to myself when I saw this, Wesley Snipes can return right now as Blade, and I would be completely fine with that. Now, I also believe Mahershala Ali is actually a good choice for the new Blade, right? The new guy to play Blade. I think he really fits the role. I really hope they get it together with the script and the directors, and I hope this thing turns out well. I think what we see with Deadpool and Wolverine kind of shows that there could be a turnaround. I'm not going to make, some prediction that, there's definitely a turnaround coming, but I believe there could be a turnaround. I think there are things in comic books that there is room to be excited about. I don't think you have to be all doom and gloom. Again, I know there are people who will tell you there's nothing to be excited about. It's all bad. Comics are trash and are not going anywhere. Is that a possibility? Yes, but I don't think that has to be your default. There are signs. There are things out there that are good. Are there a bunch of things, a plethora of things out there that are good? That could be subject to different people's opinion. I believe there is. I believe that there's enough out there that's good that I'm not doom and gloom and to the point where I'm like, it's all, it's not going anywhere. It's all trash. I think there are different companies that are offering different things, and whatever it is you see in comic books that you don't like, there's someone out there that's offering something you do like, and that's always a good sign.